Hello YouTube, it's your boy Jeff back again with another Rivals video. I'm sure you understand the importance of learning other roles by now in Marvel Rivals. People will always say learn 2 to 3 characters in each role, but who should we learn exactly? As we went over previously, I believe we should have 2 to 3 mains across all roles, but not be a full flex player because it's just unrealistic to put that much time into that many characters, so we have to choose wisely. However, I still believe that there are characters in this game that everyone should know how to play to some degree, and if we add up the total amount of characters we need to learn after putting that into consideration, it's gonna be more than 3 for sure, maybe around 6 or 7 at least, and I'm not even joking. So how do we combat this dilemma of learning so many characters in Marvel Rivals? Not everyone is unemployed like yours truly, knows 20 characters and has 7 lords. Well, the solution is we learn simpler characters. Which ones? Allow me to give you my personal recommendations after over 2,000 hours in this game. Okay guys, so we're now in the practice range. I'm gonna tell you guys which characters I think you should learn, and I'm gonna give a brief demonstration of how I think you should use their abilities in game. First of all, for tanks, we got Doctor Strange. I think you should learn Doctor Strange first because bare minimum everyone should know how to teleport back to point. Okay, so how do we teleport to the point? Sorry console players, I don't play console, so I don't know the input for that, but on PC, here's what you do. Press F, and then you use WASD to control the opening of where you want the portal to open. So let's say I want to come to this high ground. Let's say this area down here where the bots are is the objective, so I want my team to have the advantage of the high ground here. Team comes out. Of course, in overtime situation where you have to touch the point, then you just go straight to the point. You do this, press F, and let's say this is the point, and okay, we just go straight to the point because we have to touch. And then boom, we touch. I think I placed it a little too high. Let's say you only have like 1 second maybe, then yeah, you want to like place it directly onto the point. I'm gonna try again. So yeah, you maybe just want to do something like this. And boom, touch. So the second way you want to use the portal is to seal off the enemy spawn. This won't work on all maps because most of the new maps should have 3 doorways to prevent this, but in some of the old maps like the low-key convoy map for example, you want to do this on the 3rd point. So you press F again, but this time instead of going straight to WASD, you want to press left click to reposition. So let's say I'm the enemy, they're going to come out of spawn right here, right? So you want to place the portal right here, and then you want them to go back into their own spawn. So for this opening, you want to face it looking back into this other doorway. So let's say I'm the enemy, right? Trying to come out here. Oh, I'm back in my own spawn. Try to come out here. Oh, I'm back in my own spawn again. So the 3rd way to use the portal is to counter portal the enemy. Let's say this spot in front of me is the enemy Doctor Strange. He's trying to teleport his team back to the point. So what people will do is that they'll try to counter portal that Doctor Strange and teleport his team off the map. So once again, we do reposition. I'll place it off the map here. And then this Doctor Strange is opening the point right here, so I'm gonna time it just as his portal starts opening, and I'm gonna place mine as well. And hopefully that catches his team off guard. I'm gonna go over his combos now. So for this first one, let's say maybe we're taking a lot of damage, I want to keep a distance, or maybe enemy has an Emma, I don't want to get grabbed, or maybe they have a Groot, I don't want to get walled off. Here's what you do, you have your shield and you have your primary. So shield, primary, shield, primary, shield, primary. You want to alternate between those two. Usually when you're playing like other DPS or healer characters, you like to like strafe. So I'll put my shield, strafe left. When I go to the open, I put my shield up, and when I retreat back to cover, I'll do my left click. So for the second combo, let's say we're in a situation where we don't really need to use our shield and we want to do maximum damage. You want to do left click and then melee wave. Left click, melee wave. And while we're doing that, you can see in the middle of the screen, we're charging up our E. So it's charged up now. Once you got it, you just want to send that shit and do big damage. So lastly, we have Doctor Strange's ultimate. There are about 4 or 5 ways you want to do this. So first way is the most classic way. You just shift up and then you cancel it and you go down. So jump up and jump down. So just shift, alt, down. The second way is once in a while you might just want straight up alt right in their face. Once you go up higher in elo, people will expect to jump. I'm poking, and then alt right in their face. Boom, right there. This third way, shift, and they just straight up alt in the air. My favorite way is to find a high ground somewhere like this. I'll usually wait for the tanks to go forward and then, oh, I see the healers and then I'll ult. Boom. Sometimes I might just like go straight behind them. The second tank you want to learn is Magneto. You do need a little bit better aim. There's like kind of a long delay. He does have splash damage though, so that kind of helps. You can kind of shoot at his feet. It does a lot less damage. You can bubble your supports when you're in danger, bubble your DPS if they're ulting. You can also bubble yourself. You have a shield to block ultimates. I'll use my ult to counter ult enemy DPS, Iron Man, Punisher, or Star-Lord. So you just ult, suck that shit up. Once it's charged up, find the enemy and just throw it at them. Support or DPS preferably. Usually people will also use Magneto ult to counter out enemy support ults. Typically Cloak and Dagger, Luna Snow, Invisible Woman. Magneto also has the Gambit team up. The Gambit team up is really strong. Press C. This shit does a lot of big damage. Typically you want to save it when your Gambit is ulting, or you want to save it for big team fights. Magneto also has a melee, but compared to Doctor Strange, it doesn't really improve the TTK that much. The third tank you want to learn is the Thing. Because in low to mid elo, dive is very strong. Your teammates are ass and they won't know how to counter him, so you need to play the Thing and babysit your healers. Here's what you want to do on the Thing. You don't want to go too far away from your supports, but you still want to help out with the front line. So while I'm right-click simulating, I'm still trying to hear and see if I can listen to see if the BP is coming. I'm trying to look around, see if I can spot them. Periodically looking at my supports, seeing if they're fine. Let's say, oh, boom, I hear the first BP dash. Boom, turn around, give my support damage reduction, shift, slam the BP, and we kill him. Sometimes the BP is just too good, he's too fast, you can't track him. There's not much you can do about that, but 90% of the time, this will work. If you want to front line with the Thing, here's what you need to do. Because we don't have a shield, we can't like just face tank a lot of damage. The Thing is very weak to heavy spam damage characters like Punisher, Moonknight, Squirrel Girl, etc. I do my best to find some sort of cover. Let's say they're coming around this corner. This corner is very good because it's a right-hand peek as well. So I'll just right-click them as they're coming in. Do some big damage. If you can, you want to save your jump so you can use it as an escape tool. Let's say they're coming around the corner, I don't have enough damage to keep them off. I'll jump back to my healers. Or if you don't have the jump, you're not close enough, you can use your shift. For Thing's ultimate, usually like to use my shift aggressively as well, so I'll shift, get them stunned, and then we stun them again with the ult, and then we kill them. If you think that's too telegraphed, you can just boom, and then ult. Just off the primary as well, that can work. Something I've done, I might come to my team that I'm going behind them, so I might sneak around behind them, behind the healers, and then I'll just ult them, and then my team can sandwich them from the front. Moving on to the DPS now. First of all, we have Punisher. His primary is very strong. You can see right there, you just beam down the enemies and they're dead in the blink of an eye if you can hit your shots. His primary fire is also very aim friendly. Because it's automatic, you don't have to snap onto the target right away. Even if you miss your first couple shots, you can quickly, easily readjust and then keep beaming down your opponent that way. So he's very good against flyers. He's also very good for helping your tanks make space. He has a shotgun if they get too close. He has a zip line. You can even use your smoke grenade for extra movement. You see what I did just there? You can also go to the high ground this way, look down, shoot to the ground, get up. So for me, the normal gameplay loop with Punisher goes something like this. So I usually try to start off right away with a turret so I can help my tanks walk onto the point, make space. So I use my turret, let's say the enemy's over there, the point's in front around here, my tanks are right here. I'm trying to help them walk up. So maybe they're trying to get through a doorway. I'll do my best to keep them in there. Once I run out of ammo, I'll get off and then I'll keep trying to do damage, see if I can find some picks, try to do a lot of damage to their tanks to make them walk back. All of this is with intention of charging my ultimate as quickly as possible, and if I don't have my ultimate yet, I'll go back in my turret and then I'll just do the whole thing again. Once the opportunity arrives, then we can use this ultimate, usually to combo with maybe Rocket or Gambit, or you can ult inside your support ult, so there's less chance of you dying. If you can, maybe ask your team for a bubble or something, or a shield, because Punisher himself, when he's ulting, he has an even bigger hitbox, as you can see right here. Yeah, you do a lot of damage, but you also like die very easily. Keep in mind, if you have like damage boost, you can very easily kill through support ult. I want to talk a bit about his turret. It basically makes you much tankier. As you can see on the middle screen, you have like 600 extra HP. But keep in mind that you're not shielded from the back. Also, when you're in your turret, you're completely CC immune. Jeff is ulting me. I put my turret down. He doesn't swallow me. Like any kind of ultimate that I want to block. Wanda's ulting in front of me. I can't get away, so I just use my turret to shield. Another thing about the Punisher turret is that it can also do splash damage. Okay, so the next DPS I think that you need to know is Namor. As I said just now, dive is very prevalent in Marvel Rivals in low to mid elo. So you really need to have good anti-dive in your arsenal. So you have your left click and you have your right click that does more damage but has a little bit of a wind up, so you have to keep that in mind when you're aiming. You have 2 charges of squids. You can either put them right in front of you to distract the enemy, make them shoot the squid first. You can put it on the high ground. You can also put it behind them. If you want to target a specific person with your squids, you hit them with a right click and the squids will do extra damage. Next up, we have his shift. You typically want to save it for escaping ultimates, or if you're trying to hold an off angle, you might not get heals at that exact moment and you need to have an escape route in mind. So let's say, oh, I'm about to die because someone's challenging me on the off angle. I need to save my shift and then get out, and hopefully my healers will heal me, which 50% of the time they won't. Just like the Punisher ult, ideally would like to combo with a damage boost if you can, because for Namor ult, unless you get your target dead center of the ultimate, it's kind of hard to one-shot them. So usually with Namor, I'll typically try to go on an off angle, especially a high ground where I can look down on the enemy so I can place my ult a lot easier. With Namor, there's also the Helativa. It's basically an anti-heal. I try and use it on the tanks. So I see a big guy, anti-heal him. My team will beam him down. You can also save it for taking 1v1 duels because it's a really strong ability. You don't have to aim with it. Let's say I'm fighting a guy. Oh, boom, boom. He's one. And I'm having trouble landing my last shot. I have my team up. Boom, use it. Lastly, for DPS, I would recommend Moonknight. I'm sure we've all seen the memes, random bullshit go. Low elo players will think that Moonknight's just a low skill hero for people who can't aim to just put the Ankh on the ground and kill enemies like that way. But good Moonknight players will know that Moonknight's primary actually does way more damage. Just look at this shit, man. Moonknight does crazy damage if they're grouped up. That's why when I feel like I have to like full carry a team's offense, I'll usually play Moonknight. So Moonknight has a double jump. And Moonknight also has a grapple and has a glide, so just keep that in mind in terms of mobility. For his ultimate, there's a trick to it. So if you ult and then you put your E, your Ankh in the middle, and then you shoot at the Ankh, you can pull the enemies back in. There are typically 2 ways you can play Moonknight. Firstly, you can just play down main, maybe stay behind your tanks and provide the frontline damage for your team and just spam at the enemy tanks. Or if you can, try to go to off angle or high ground and maybe I can locate the enemy healers. Let's say there's a healer right here. I'm trying to target him specifically. I'll put my Ankh and then left click, right click. And that usually does the job. Lastly, we got the healers. First up, my boy Raccoon. He's the easiest support to learn in my opinion. For his healing, you don't have to aim. So as you can see, I can just kind of bounce it off the environment. Did you see that little instance of burst heal right there? So if you can aim, try your best to aim on Rocket. People in low elo also feed a lot, so your res beacon can help you guys stay in the fight much easier. Rocket also gets his ult really fast. You want to combo it with other DPS ults, or if they have like some team wiping ults, then do your best to save it. One little extra tip is I find it when I'm going against a Groot. If a Groot ults in front of me and I try to ult, my ult usually can't activate in time and then I'll still die through it. If I see a Groot coming, I just might ult preemptively. You typically want to place it on the high ground. I see people do that all the time. Let's say our team is trying to push into this choke. I can put it like behind this corner right here. His minigun does sneaky amount of damage, especially when you're at close range. For his beacon, keep in mind you can move it, so you can cancel it if you want to move it. Adjust your beacon's location depending on where your team is fighting. I can give a few tips on the movement. First of all, I'll try to play near a wall. So let's say a diver is coming at me, I can just So I already did like a few different things there. Can be a little bit hard to see, so let me explain. For example, I'm trying to go right. I'm holding down my D key, but I'm also alternating between W and S so I can move my hitbox up and down. The second thing you can do is a circle. The last thing I did there was, let's say I'm going right. If I press shift, then I can boost extra far, especially against heroes like Iron Fist or Daredevil. They can just wall run this wall. You really need this tech. The second healer I would recommend learning is Cloak and Dagger. Just like Rocket, Cloak and Dagger is very mechanically easy. Let me just show you the aim. I'm just shooting at the floor next to them. I can still heal them. Next to Rocket, Cloak and Dagger is probably one of the most survivable supports in this game. People might argue in this, but to me, nothing would ever beat just being able to put a bubble down on yourself like this, because with the image shield you can still shoot behind it, you can break the shield, but you can't break the bubble. If they're running dive, I would always make sure to save my bubble for myself. So if we're not getting dive, you typically use it to help sustain critical targets. See, my teammates are critical. Let's say the fight just starting, I know my tanks will be fighting in this space, so I'll preemptively put my bubble down so then my tanks can hold space easier. Next up, let's talk about Cloak's E. The best way you want to use this is stand behind your team, form a line, and then use your E so you can heal the most people at once. By the way, you can reload by switching forms. In the start of the match, you kind of just want to use your blind whenever, because you get it back so fast anyway. So I'm healing my tanks. Boom, boom, boom. I see I have my blind. I'll use it. Go back to healing. You also typically use your blind in your ult. So when I'm ulting, I'll ult into the enemy backline, blind their healers, eliminate them. The best way to use your fate is to make yourself invulnerable against ultimates. Let's say these two are my teammates, we're gonna get ulted, so I fade all of us, keep us safe. As long as my teammates don't do anything and just stand still during the fade, it will also keep them invulnerable. You can use it to escape every ultimate you can think of. Magneto ult, Iron Man ult, Jeff ult, Spider-Man ult, Phoenix ult. You can also use your fade in the neutral. Just maybe you're trying to get away from a diver, you want to reposition. One weakness for Cloak is we're very weak when we're in our ultimate. How you want to mitigate this is switch to Cloak form first, so we ult. So we can fade instantly at the end of our last dash. We want to do this against things like, once again, Magneto ult, Iron Man ult. Let's say we don't have our fade, then the only thing we can do is to dash into cover. So I'm ulting. Let's say I hear fear, Magneto. Then I'll find the nearest cover. Let's talk about our third healer choice. We need a third healer choice because even though Rocket and Cloak are really good, their main weaknesses are their ultimates. Rocket's ult only has around 800 HP, I think, and it can be very easily destroyed, or it can be instantly destroyed by Phoenix ult. For Cloak, you're very vulnerable during your ultimate while you're dashing. My choice for the third healer would be Gambit. Why Gambit? Let's first talk about the aim. So let's compare it to another good healer. So let's see the hitbox. You see how small the hitbox is? Let's compare it to Gambit. When you shoot one bullet, you shoot 3. Look at the hitbox. So the aim is a lot more generous on Gambit. So even though Gambit is a little more complicated, maybe in terms of having more abilities to learn, being mechanically easier definitely helps. Also, Gambit has crazy movement like Rocket. So the movement tech you need to learn is press shift and then right click. You can also do this into the air to escape things like those big one-shot outs. One weakness of Gambit though is that his methods of healing himself aren't that good. The first way is to use your right click. But as you can see, it doesn't really heal me that much. I use one card here. I can heal myself like that. But then if I use my cards for healing myself, then I can't use my card abilities to help my team, right? Even though he has really good movement, he doesn't really have very efficient ways to heal himself. I just want to go over his card abilities. So if you do E, it's basically like a mini soul bond. EF is your cleanse. So you want to cleanse things like Doctor Strange ult, Groot ult, Angela ult, Thing ult. So let's see a Doctor Strange coming. I dash out of the way first. EF. FF is the anti-heal. FF, ooh, look at that shit. FE is damage boost, so I'll typically use this when my teammates are ulting. Last but not least, his ultimate. The ultimate will heal your team, it'll cleanse your team, it'll give them damage boost, it'll make them run faster, jump higher, recharge their ultimate faster. Just one thing you want to keep in mind when you activate it. So before you activate it, you want to make sure that your teammates are actually in your LOS. If they're not in LOS, after you activate it, even if you look at them once again, they won't get the ultimate effect. As you see, they don't have the cards around them. That's how you know. So I'm out right now. You can see that this bot has the cards around him. That's about it from me. Those are the characters that I think you need to learn in Marvel Rivals. I hope that helps. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.